In this video, I'll show you how to create professional looking and professional sounding content using Midjourney and Make.com that doesn't sound like cheap AI ChatGPT generated content. This is the second video of a series of 3 videos that I've created on the subject. We're gonna focus specifically on Midjourney today, but if you wanna get the full picture on professional looking and professional sounding content with Make.com, then check out the rest of the videos on my channel. And we're gonna go over 5 scenarios today. This is scenario number 1, then we have scenario number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. They might look a bit complicated, but I'm gonna break it down step by step and then we're gonna build it together. And this is the result of the post that you're gonna be able to generate with captions that don't sound like AI and with fantastic creatives like this, the same thing on Facebook or the same thing on X. And we're gonna do the same with Instagram. I don't have something right now, but we're gonna build it together. So let's just dive in and let's build it out together. Cool, so the first thing that you'll need is a user API account. This is the platform that we're gonna use to connect Midjourney with Make.com. There is no direct connection with Midjourney and Make.com, so we have to use this specific platform. So you have to click on sign up over here, click on that. So over here, you will have to put your own email account and then you'll have to put your own Telegram username. In my case, I'll just put my username, then you click on sign up. And then it says we've sent a link to your email for verification. So you have to log in your email and then you will find an email like this. It says to complete your registration and unlock the full range of features, please click on the following link. So you click on the link over here. Cool, so we have created an account. This is the first step. Now, next step is to connect user API account with your Discord account. Now, you will need to have a Midjourney subscription to do this. So this is number 1, what you need to do. And then I'll show you exactly what you need to do in your Discord account so that you're able to connect your Discord account with user API. Cool, so now to connect your Discord account to user API, you need to click on add account over here. And then you need to do something that might be a bit complicated, but you just need to follow exactly what I will do right now, and then you should be good to go. So you can click on blog over here. So you need to go to Discord, to your Discord account. I have already a conversation here with the Midjourney bot, but if you don't have one yet in your direct messages, you need to click over here at find or start a conversation, and then you need to check for Midjourney bot, and the first thing that will pop up will be the Midjourney bot. You click on that, and then you will arrive in the Midjourney bot DMs over here. So you will need to click over here if you don't have a Mac, and then basically you need to access the developer tools. Now, if you have a Mac, you need to check how to access the developer tools. I don't know exactly how to do that. I haven't tried it in a Mac. And then you click on that. Cool. Then you go to network over here, as you can see. And then after you've gone to network, let's say if you were at Elements, you will need to somehow search network. Cool. After you've gone to network, then you need to come here to messages and you need to type in / then info, then click on that, then enter. Then you click on interactions here, and then you need to scroll down until you find something that's called authorization. This is the authorization for me, and then you will find a link here. For me, it's going to be blurred out, but whatever link you're going to find, not exactly link, whatever like string of characters you're gonna find, just copy them. Then after you have that, you go back to user API and you paste it over here, and then something should pop up. Channel ID again, and guild ID. If that pops up, then you need to click on the first thing that pops up, which is the channel ID. You click on use, then API key, you leave it as it is, and then you can either choose the free integration pack, you can choose a quarterly plan or whatever you want. For me, I would start with a free integration pack or whatever you want actually. And then you click on add. Here we go. So you have your API key. And by the way, API means basically what connects platforms together and what allows platforms to communicate with each other. So the next thing that we're gonna do and the next thing that we need is an Airtable base that has 2 parts. We have Midjourney to Airtable, which is this one, and then Midjourney to social, which is actually Airtable to social, but for clarity, I just named it Midjourney to social. And we're gonna go ahead now and build it out together. Cool, so we go to Airtable and then we click on start from scratch. You can name this base Midjourney to social, and we have 1 table here, and we're gonna add 1 more table, in which case the first table is gonna be Midjourney to Airtable, save, and then the second one is gonna be Airtable to social. Fantastic, we save that. So the first field that we're gonna put here is image hash, and it's gonna be single line text. The next one is gonna be creative, and it can be single line text too. We save that. Next one is gonna be platform, and we're gonna have it as a single select. And the options are gonna be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and X. And we save it. We're gonna need status, so we're gonna change that to for review, approved, and published. And we'll click on save. Next one is gonna be a field which we're gonna name upscale / regenerate, and we're gonna need to use this field when we have a specific result from Midjourney, like images generated, and we have image number 1, image number 2, image number 3, and image number 4, and we want to see which image we're gonna choose. So which image we're gonna upscale, which means we're gonna make it bigger, or if we don't like any of the 4 creatives, then we can regenerate the whole grid, image grid. Fantastic. And it's gonna be a single select again, and the options are gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, or regenerate, and we save it. And the last 2 fields are gonna be creative time and last modified time. So we click on creative time first, then we click on create field, and we're gonna click on last modified time as the last thing, create field. Fantastic. And then the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna filter this by condition status is for review. And then over here at grid view, we're gonna change it to for review. Then we're gonna duplicate the view, and the next one is gonna be approved. And again, we're gonna duplicate the view, and the last one is gonna be published. Cool. And now what we're gonna do is we need to change the filter by status. So the approved view, we're gonna change this to approved, and then at the published view, we're gonna change that to published, and we're done with the first table over here. I'm just gonna put 1 out of 2. I like doing that. I'm gonna change that to 2 out of 2. And the second table over here, the first field is gonna be creative. It can be single line text. We click on save. Then we have caption, and we're gonna leave long text over here. We click on save. Next one is gonna be platform again, and we're gonna have to have a single select. And again, we have to add the different platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, and we click on save. And by the way, if you're creating content for more platforms, then you can just add them over here, but these are the platforms that we're gonna go over today. Then we'll click on save over here. Then status is gonna be again for review, approved, and published. We'll click on save. The next field is gonna be creative time, and the next one after that is gonna be last modified time. So we'll click on creative time first, then create field. Next one is last modified time, create field. So the next one is gonna be creative URL, which we can leave it at single line text. And the next one after that is gonna be image hash. And by the way, the hash of the image is basically the unique identifier of that image. Then this one is also gonna be single line text, and we create field. Again, next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna filter by status. So status for the first one, status is for review. Then we're gonna change the view name over here to for review. Then we're gonna duplicate that view twice. The second one, we're gonna rename it to approved, and the third one, we're gonna rename it to published. And we're gonna change the filter over here for approved, and we're gonna change it to approved. And the last one, we're gonna change it to published. Cool, so we're set with Airtable, and the next thing that we need to do is we need to create a few OpenAI assistants at platform.openai.com. And the assistants here are basically custom GPTs that do a very specific function, the function that you have instructed them to do. But because you have created them in platform.openai.com, then you can use them in outside platforms like make.com or even other platforms. So you will need to create 3 assistants. The first assistant is Midjourney prompt generator bot. It's actually a very detailed bot. It has a lot of examples here just to make sure that whatever I input in the bot, I get exactly what I want. And if you want to have access to this exact instruction from the bot, you're gonna find it in my school community, link in the description below. And by the way, what this assistant does is it can take an idea, for example, a voice note from you or an idea from somebody else. It can take a written idea or a voice note or whatever else, and it can create a prompt for Midjourney so that the image that you're gonna generate from Midjourney is gonna correspond to the idea. It's gonna correspond to what you said in the voice note. Okay, it's actually super, guys. Like this is like content creation with Midjourney on another level. Okay, so this is the first bot that you're gonna need. The second bot is the Pro X Post Editor bot, which again, you're gonna have access to this in my school community, and it's a very detailed bot too. And the last one that we're gonna need is a Midjourney image ratio bot. This is super important. The instruction is very simple, but you will see why we need it later in this video. Cool. So the first scenario, I'm going to name it Midjourney to Airtable to social 1 out of 5. And we're gonna start with a Slack trigger. Now, I have explained in part number 1 why we're starting with that. What this is gonna allow us to do is you're gonna drop a voice note in that private channel, and then you will just speak your mind over a subject. And again, this is how you build a brand. You don't build a brand with generic AI lame sounding content. You build a brand. Brand is what makes you unique. Brand is what makes your company unique. So you build a brand with your own ideas, your own positions in different subjects, in different topics that portray you as an expert over a subject. So this is what you're gonna do. You don't need to talk a lot in that voice note. It can be like literally a minute of your time. It can be 2 minutes. And when you're done with that, we're gonna use that idea to create content. How cool is that? Cool. So what I would suggest is you create another channel different to voice to plus it to content. If you don't know what this is, just watch part number 1 and you're gonna catch up to that. But I would suggest you have 2 different channels, because in part 1 we have a trigger to fetch content from this specific channel, which is voice to plus it, and in part 2, which is this video, we're gonna have a trigger to fetch content, to extract content or that voice note from this channel. Okay, you need that separate, because otherwise they can get mixed up and it can get all weird. So as you can see here, 3 days ago I dropped this voice note over here. You can check the transcript. I basically say, don't delegate everything to AI. Okay, I don't really like people just wanting to delegate 100% of their activities to AI. Okay, so if you cannot take 2 minutes of your day to just speak your mind, to create automatic content, and you want your content to be created by AI, that's not gonna happen. Like literally, this is like a lazy way of existence. Cool, so I'm gonna use this voice note for my workflows. And over here for private channel, I'm gonna use voice to Midjourney, and the limit I'm gonna set it to 1. So we'll click on OK. The next one is gonna be again a Slack module. And module, by the way, it's just a step of the workflow. And the step is gonna be download a file. Then URL private download is gonna be the URL from files over here. It's gonna be URL private download. Now we don't have any data here because I have not run the workflow yet. Okay, actually let me just run it once. I will click on choose where to start, choose manually. Then I'm gonna take the last entry over here, then okay, run once. Cool, and they were successful. Okay, cool. So next one. Cool, so next one is gonna be an OpenAI module, and we're gonna have create a transcription module where it's gonna take that file that we just downloaded from the second module, and it's gonna transcribe it with ChatGPT. You just keep this at Slack download the file. You don't need to do anything here, so you click on OK. Fantastic. And the next one, something that I actually forgot to mention, is that we need another assistant. And again, I have more information on that in part 1, and you're gonna have access to this assistant too in my school community. This assistant is called Voice Transcription Editor Minimal Editing, and it's a very simple assistant. You can see the whole instruction. I say your job is to receive a transcription from a voice note that I just created and edited. I want your edit to be minimal. What I want you to do is take out any ums and me saying words twice in the voice note, but don't add any words I didn't say in that voice note. I want you to create a well-structured text that flows logically, but don't add any words that I didn't say. The only edits that you will do are if something is grammatically incorrect, because I'm Greek, but even then, don't alter the words or type of words I'm using. I don't want ChatGPT to create its own thing, okay, with its own words, it sounds lame in my opinion. I want the content to be in my own voice, and this is how we achieve that. Cool, so the assistant is going to be voice transcription editor, minimal editing, and at the message over here, you don't need to do much. You basically need to click on text over here and nothing else, text from the previous module, and then you click on OK. Cool, so now let's just run it once again. Again, choose where to start, choose manually. We take the last entry and we click on OK, run once. Here we go, and we have the transcript over here. Fantastic, and we have the minimal editor over here. Look, it took this message in and it spaced it out very nice, and I suspect that it sounds very much like me. Now, the second mistake people make regarding AI, specifically when they try to use AI in the processes, is that they try to delegate whole processes to AI. First of all, when the AI is not even trained enough, or when you haven't taken the time to train that AI enough, your processes are not controlled. Okay, fine, so it doesn't sound like AI created it, and I'm very happy with the output. So the next module that we're gonna choose is a router, and we're gonna have 3 choices over here. So we need to set variable over here. So we're gonna go to tools and set variable, and variable name is gonna be just platform, and variable value is gonna be, in this case, is gonna be X. So we'll click on OK. Again, same for this module. We'll go to tools and set variable. Variable name is going to be platform. Variable value is going to be Instagram. And the last one, again, is going to be a set variable. Again, we'll go to tools, then set variable over here, and variable name, again, platform. And variable value is going to be LinkedIn. Now, we're skipping Facebook because we're gonna generate the same creative for Instagram and for Facebook, so in this case we don't need that. And I'm just gonna rename it here, and I'm gonna say platform X. Next one is gonna be platform Instagram, Facebook, and I'm gonna rename the last one as platform LinkedIn. Cool, and the next one over here for X, we're gonna go to an OpenAI module, and we're gonna message an assistant. So the assistant here is going to be the Pro X Post Editor. By the way, if you don't have a connection with OpenAI and Make.com, I show you how to connect these 2 platforms in video number 1, part 1. So go back and watch that. Then over here, message, we're not gonna do anything else, but message is gonna be the result from this step over here. Okay, so it's gonna be the result from module number 4. We click on that, fantastic, and we click on OK. And the purpose of this step is to take the transcript over here, or to take the edited part of the transcript, and then just break it down to its main key points. Because at X, if you have a free account, if you don't pay for any subscriptions, then you have limited amount of characters, a limited number of characters that you can use, and this is what this specific assistant does. I'm just gonna rename it to an X post editor. So next module is going to be an Airtable module. You click on create a record, and a base is going to be Midjourney to social. Table is going to be the second table. The reason why is because now we're going to create the rows of the captions, which is basically just the step before it gets published. And later, like the next steps, we're going to create the creatives. And after we have created the creatives, then we can post it. Okay. Cool, so we choose that one, and then the caption is going to be the result from the last assistant, which is the X Post Editor. So you click on the result. Then platform, you can unmap this, and you can click on X. And status, again, you can unmap this and click on for review. Fantastic, you click on OK. Next one is gonna be another ChatGPT or OpenAI module, again, message and assistant. Then the assistant is gonna be the Midjourney prompt generator, and over here we're gonna have user message, and the only thing that you're gonna do here is you're gonna drop the result from number 4, which is the full idea that the Midjourney prompt generator is gonna take, and then it's gonna generate a prompt to create a creative based on that idea. And you say platform colon, and then for platform over here, you click on platform from the set variable module. And the reason for that is because the Midjourney prompt generator is trained to when in the input we have the platform name, to output the specific image ratio for that platform. Okay, so this is why we needed that set variable module over here. Then you click on OK. That's it for now for the first row. We have one more step here, but let's go and complete the next 2 rows, and then we're gonna come back and complete all of them. So for now, over here we have a router. All right, so next one is gonna be again Airtable, create a record. And now over here, we're gonna create a record for Instagram and for Facebook, okay? Because we're gonna generate just one creative for both platforms because it's fine, like the image ratios are fine. And yeah, this is what we're gonna do. So again, we click on Midjourney to social number 2, which is our current base. And the table is gonna be again Airtable to social. We click on that. Then caption is gonna be the result from number 4. So we click on that. Platform is gonna be Instagram in this case. Status is going to be for review, and we'll click on OK. Same for this specific Airtable module. Again, over here we create a record. Base again is gonna be Midjourney to social number 2. Table, the second table. Caption is gonna be the result from the 4th module again. Then we unmap platform and status. And for platform, we're gonna choose Facebook, and for status, we're gonna choose for review. Then the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna continue with an OpenAI assistant again, which is gonna be the Midjourney assistant. Okay, the assistant is gonna be the Midjourney prompt generator assistant. Message is going to be again the result from number 4, which is the minimally edited version of my voice note. So we click on that. Then we create a few spaces and we write platform, and then we click on platform over here. Fantastic. And we click on OK. Cool. Now we do not need to create a new image over here. So we will not create something else for Facebook because we'll create the same creative over here for Instagram and Facebook. So it's fine. Cool. So over here at LinkedIn, the next one is going to be again an Airtable record. So you create a record over here. Base is going to be Midjourney to social. Table is going to be Airtable to social. The second one is basically the same process again and again. Caption is going to be the result from the 4th module. Then we unmap again platform and we put LinkedIn over here. And for status, we unmap it and we put for review. Fantastic. So now let's run it one more time from the beginning and let's see what happens with the new records that we're going to create in Airtable. So we go to choose manually, then we click on the last entry over here, then we click on OK, and we click on run once. Fantastic. So it looks like everything was successful. Let's go back to Airtable and let's see what happened. Go back to for review, and here we go. Look at that. I'm gonna just make the row height tall. Fantastic. Now for X, we have a shortened version of the caption, which is fantastic. Then we have, look at that, fantastic. It's beautiful. It's spaced out very nicely so that it's not hard on the eye. And we have the different platforms over here. We have the same caption for Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. So everything was good up to now. Actually, something that I forgot over here, I have to create another assistant module over here for LinkedIn. The assistant is going to be Midjourney prompt generator again, and the message is going to be again the result from the 4th module over here. Then you create a few more spaces, you say platform, and you click on platform, which in this case is LinkedIn, and we're good to go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create 3 modules over here for user API, so that the user API can give the prompt to Midjourney so that Midjourney creates the images. So before we do this step, we need to do one thing, which is to create the first step of the second part of this automation. As you can see here, we have 5 parts, and this was the longest, but the second part of the automation is very important. And let's go ahead and create the first part of the automation. We will need that in order to complete this one. Cool. So the second part of the automation is going to start with something that is called a webhook. What is a webhook? A webhook is basically something that notifies, that gets triggered. Something happens and it gets triggered. Okay, and when it gets triggered, then it can trigger other events. In this case, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create different modules here, different parts of the automation, and when these modules run, then they're gonna trigger this specific webhook. It's basically, you can think of it as a thing that either gets notified or notifies something else in either outside platforms, outside of Make, or in this case, more specifically, outside from the initial workflow, from the initial scenario. Okay, so you can have different scenarios that are separate, but they notify each other so that they can trigger each other. Okay, cool. So what you're gonna do here is, if you have more webhooks here, just disregard them and you will click on add over here. Then you're gonna give your webhook a nice name, for example, Midjourney test 2. Then you click on save, and then you have a specific URL over here. Cool. So now we have the URL. Now we go back to scenario number 1, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a module which is called user API. We're gonna imagine. Okay, so you click on imagine. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go back to the webhook. You're gonna copy the address to clipboard over here. You go back to scenario number 1, and you're basically gonna paste the webhook URL over here so that when this step is done, then the webhook is going to get triggered. Prompt to generate image. So the prompt to generate the image is going to be the prompt from this Midjourney assistant over here, which is the 12th step over here. So I'm gonna find the 12th step, as you can see here, and the result, I'm gonna click on that. So you want to click here, post data once generation is complete. If you click on that, every time you're gonna have a progress in the image generation, that webhook is going to get triggered over and over again. You don't want that. Only when the image is complete, you want the webhook to get triggered. So you click on OK. Then we're gonna clone this step and we're gonna put it over here. So the only thing that you're gonna change here is the prompt to generate image, in which case the prompt is gonna be the result from this last module over here. Again, you click on result, then you click on OK, and then again you clone this module, and then you don't attach it to this record over here or this module over here, but you attach it to the LinkedIn module. And again, the only thing that you're gonna change here is the result, which in this case is gonna be this one. Fantastic. You click on OK. So now something that I want to say, I have already added these modules, but if you don't have a connection with user API, the first time that you're gonna have to connect it, you're gonna have to click on add, or you're gonna have like a blank field over here that says your API key. So you need to go to your user API account, then you need to go to API keys, or actually you have the API key here. So you copy that and then you would paste it in the field here that says API key, and then you would click on OK, and then this would appear. All right, so now let's test this webhook. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have it run once. So now what this does is it waits for data. It was not given any data, so it's gonna wait for data. And how we're gonna give it the data is we're gonna run this scenario once. So again, choose where to start, choose manually, we choose the object over here, the last one, OK, and then run once. So now one thing that I'll do here is I won't let the scenario just run to generate all the images. I'm just gonna let it generate one image over here, and then I'm gonna stop the scenario, and it's gonna be fine because Midjourney is gonna be triggered to generate a creative over here, and we don't need much more than that. Cool, so I will stop it now, and the webhook is still running because first we're gonna generate a creative over here. As you can see, we have a creative generating right now, and when it's gonna be 100% and the creative is gonna be generated now, look at this creative. Look at these pictures. You cannot generate pictures like that with ChatGPT. Impossible to do it right now. Maybe in the future you will be able to do it. Probably in the future you will be able to do it. But for now, Midjourney is the king. And let's go back to our scenario. And as you can see here, the webhook got triggered. It's fantastic. We have the prompt here, and it's just perfect. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a router, and we wanna create rows in our Airtable base, or in the first table, which is basically the pictures, the creatives, and the different things like that. And I almost broke my head in figuring out how I will know from the webhook if that creative is for X, if that creative is for Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and there is one way, the only way that I found is to set up a filter and say here, is it for X? And the condition is if the prompt, as you can see here, this is the prompt that we have, a person looking skeptical reviewing AI generated content on a computer screen. If the prompt includes an aspect ratio of 2:1, it's for X. Okay, this was the only way to do it. I didn't find any other way to determine if that creative was for X or Facebook or LinkedIn. So this is what we're gonna go forward with. So the condition is if prompt contains, not equal to, contains case insensitive 2:1, then that's for X. Next one is LinkedIn, and over here we're gonna say if prompt contains case insensitive 1:1, then it's gonna be LinkedIn, and this is per the instructions of the Midjourney prompt generator bot. And as you can see here, if as part of the data you receive the specified platform of content creation is LinkedIn, you basically have this aspect ratio. If it is Twitter, you always have this aspect ratio, and if it is Facebook or Instagram, you have 4:5. Cool. And the third filter that we're gonna set up here is FB or Instagram, and the condition is gonna be if prompt contains case insensitive 4:5, then we're gonna continue on this leg over here. And the next module is gonna be an Airtable module, so we're gonna click on create a record. The base is gonna be again the same base that we were using. The table is gonna be Midjourney to Airtable, and over here the image hash is going to be hash over here, so you click on that. The creative is going to be the URL over here from results. You can find result like this also, so you would just click on this little arrow thingy over here and you will click on URL. So platform is going to be X, and then status, you unmap status and you click on for review, and then you click on OK. Then the same for LinkedIn. I can actually I would clone it, but whatever, I'll just do it again. Create a record. Base is gonna be Midjourney to social. Table is gonna be Midjourney to Airtable. Image hash is going to be again hash. Creative is gonna be the URL over here. Platform is going to be Facebook. That's fine. Then status is going to be for review, and we click on OK. Fantastic. And then the last one again, Airtable, create a record. Base is going to be Midjourney to social number 2. Table is going to be Midjourney to Airtable. Image hash, click on hash. Creative, URL from result. Platform is going to be LinkedIn over here, and then status is going to be for review, and then we'll click on OK. Cool. And we are sorted. So let's test it out up until now. Let's test the first and second part of the automation, and let's see what happens in the images that we generate. We click on run once. Fantastic. And then we come back here, and then we choose where to start, choose manually. We click on the object over here, the last entry, and we click on OK and run once. This time I'm gonna let the whole scenario run until the end, so that we create all of the different pictures for the different social media, because I think it's important. Actually, nope. Okay, I'm gonna stop it because I want to create all 3 records. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it on, and then I'm gonna exit. Cool, now it's on. It should work very nice, because if it was not on, only the first time, the first picture that was generated, when that webhook would be triggered, then the webhook would stop running and the next 2 pictures would not be generated. Okay, so let's just try it once again. Choose where to start, choose manually. We click on the object, we click on OK, run once. Cool, as you can see, the scenario is running very smoothly, very nice. The first picture was prompted to be generated, the second and the third. Let's go back to this code over here. There are 3 different prompts over here. One is for Twitter, which is 2:1. The other one is for Facebook and Instagram, which is 4:5. And the other one is for LinkedIn, which is 1:1 image ratio. And let's see what happens. So the Twitter image already was generated. This is how it looks like. And again, the main idea that I communicated in that Slack channel was you shouldn't delegate everything to AI. Okay, you should do stuff too, which this image is a very high quality, very nice and relevant image. Cool, so now all 3 images were generated. Let's go back to our scenario over here, and now we should have different records over here at for review. Right, so the X image was not imported here. Something went wrong. Let's go back and debug it. Let's go to history here, success, and then this one was, the operations was just one operation, which means only the webhook was triggered and it was not continued. Okay, so let's go back and understand. Actually, we can click on details here. It said that it couldn't pass through the filters. Very interesting. Let's go to diagram. Let's go to X over here. Oh, here we go. So text operator equal to. The prompt is not equal to 2 to 1. Okay, the prompt is a very big thing that says man, blah, 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 sitting in front of the screen. And then in the end, it has aspect ratio 2 to 1. So I made a mistake here. We will change that to contains case insensitive 2 to 1, and then we click on OK, and it should be good. And let's go back and run it one more time. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna come here to Midjourney table, and I'm gonna delete these 2 rows because I just want to have like a flawless execution. I'm going to save this. I'm going to exit. It's on, so it's fine. And now we're gonna choose where to start. Again, choose manually, and then click on object, click on OK, run once, and let's see what happens. All right, so now we have, again, the scenario executing flawlessly. We go back to Discord, and we should have more prompts over here. We have one for Twitter, one for Facebook and Instagram, and one for LinkedIn. And as you can see here, like the prompts are very relevant. A professional sitting at a desk contemplating over a computer showing AI generating content in a modern, well-organized office with motivational posters, blah, 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 blah. Cool, so now we have everything in place. Look at this. So let's go back to Airtable here. This time, the execution was perfect, flawless. We have every single platform here, the creatives. Let's take a look at the creatives. You can just click on that. Beautiful, look at this. This is for X. This hand over here is a bit weird, but it's fine. This is for LinkedIn, and then this is for Facebook. Actually, this should be for Facebook and Instagram, I think. One sec, let me go back to this thingy here. LinkedIn 1 to 1 and Facebook 4 to 5. LinkedIn, look at this. Here I said LinkedIn, but over here I said Facebook. So I changed that to LinkedIn. I just perceived that this ad was a bit taller. So I changed that to LinkedIn, and then I will change that to Facebook. Cool, that's fine. I'm not gonna try it out again. I know it will work. So now the reason that I only have Facebook is we're gonna post the same thing on Facebook and Instagram. So when we're ready with the picture that we want, we're just gonna paste this creative. We're gonna take this creative. We're gonna go back to the different platforms here. We have different entries over here because we did so many tests. But at the creative URL, we're gonna put the same link at the creative URL for Instagram and for Facebook. Fantastic. So now let's go to the third part, which the third part is going to be, you're not going to post this picture grid, like this image grid with 4 different pictures. You're going to have to upscale. You're going to have to make one of these images bigger, and then you're going to post that image. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let's see how to upscale the images properly. All right, so now we're done with number 1 and number 2. Number 3, we're gonna start with an Airtable module. We're gonna have watch records as the trigger. Base is gonna be, again, the same base. Table is gonna be Midjourney to Airtable. And by the way, this part of the automation, we're gonna determine if we're gonna upscale image number 1, 2, 3, 4 of that image grid. So for example, we have this image grid over here. This is image number 1, image number 2, image number 3, or number 4. Or let's say that you don't like any of them, then you will be able to regenerate the whole image grid. So trigger field is going to be last modified. Label field is going to be upscale or regenerate. Limit, just keep it at 10, it's fine. And then view is going to be approved. Okay, so what you'll do here when you want to upscale something or regenerate something, then you will come here at Midjourney to Airtable, and let's say that you want to, let's say that you check these 4 images and you're like, oh my god, I really like this third image over here. So what you will do is you will turn that to 3, like the third image, and then you will click on for review and you're gonna change that to approved. It's gonna go here and it's gonna be ready to be upscaled. Cool, we click on OK. From now on, it's fine. And then the next module is gonna be a router, my fantastic router. I really like the routers and how they look like. I think they look very cool. And actually, we're gonna have 5 different routers. Option number 1 is gonna be for upscale 1, upscale 2, upscale 3, upscale 4, or regenerate, the 5th option over here. So the next module that we're gonna add is a user API module, in which case it's going to be upscale. The hash of the task is going to be the image hash from the first module over here at Airtable. The position of the image that needs to be upscaled is going to be number 1. Webhook URL, we're going to have to create another webhook here at the 4th part of this automation, and we're going to do that right now before we are able to fill this out. So I'm going to click on OK, and now I'm going to go to the 4th part of this automation. I'm going to choose webhook. I'm going to click on add. I'm going to name it like Midjourney 4 out of 4 or 4 out of 5 test. Fantastic. We click on save, then we copy address to clipboard, we go back to number 3, and then we paste the webhook over here. Fantastic. And this is all that we need over here. So we click on OK. We do the exact same for the rest of the modules over here. So we click on upscale again. The hash is going to be image hash. Position of the image is going to be 2. Webhook URL is going to be the same webhook URL. I'm going to rename it, by the way, just for me to be able to track it very easily. Upscale 1. Then the next one is going to be upscale 2. Next one, again, we're going to have an upscale module over here. Hash is going to be image hash from number 1. Position is going to be 3. Webhook URL is going to be the same URL from number 4. And this is all that we need. I'm gonna rename it to upscale 3. Second to last one is gonna be again upscale. Hash is gonna be image hash. Position is gonna be 4. Webhook URL is gonna be the same one. And the last one is going to be different. So the last one is gonna be again user API, but it's gonna be reroll all 4 images again. It's going to be a bit of a different one. Okay, the hash of the task is going to be again image hash. Now the webhook URL is not going to be the same webhook URL because we're not going to upscale something. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to regenerate the images, and we regenerate the images using the second part of the automation. So we have to come to the webhook. It's basically, if we don't approve it, for the image to go forward, it needs to go back and regenerate again the 4 images. So we'll go over here to webhooks, we copy address to clipboard, and we go to the 3rd part of the automation. We paste the webhook over here. Then webhook type is going to be post data once when generation is complete. By the way, post means send. In this case, like when you see post in webhook terms, means send a notification so that something else is done, and there is another one that's called get, when the webhook receives data. So post data once when generation is complete. We click on OK. Fantastic. And I'm gonna rename that too, and I'm gonna say regenerate all 4 images. Cool. So as a next step, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Airtable, update record. Base is going to be Midjourney to social. Table is going to be Midjourney to Airtable. Record ID is going to be ID from Airtable over here. And the only thing that we need to change here is status to published. And I'm going to clone this module 3 more times. The only time that I'm not going to clone it over here is when it has to regenerate all 4 images, because it has to go back and do that. And the purpose of this is when we have approved of a specific creative to be published, then if I go back here, I want everything that says for review, or everything that says approved actually, to be out of sight, completely out of sight at published, so that we have space for new creatives in the for review and in the approved view of the table. Okay, We're gonna do the same for these 3 modules. So we clone this one, and actually I think it's fine to leave it exactly like that. Yeah, it's totally fine. Then we clone it again, and we clone it one more time. This should be good. So let's see how that runs now. Actually, we cannot test it yet because we need to create the 4th part of the automation. So let's go ahead and do that first. But just to feed some data to the webhook, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get it to run once. I'm gonna come back over here, and let's go back to the X creatives over here. I like the 3rd one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna choose the 3rd one over here, and then status for review. I'm gonna click on approved. Fantastic. So now it has gone to approved. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to the 3rd part of the automation over here. Actually, I forgot to do one thing over here, which is to set up specific filters here. And I'm gonna do that now. So upscale 1, the condition is going to be upscale regenerate contains case insensitive 1. Fantastic. We click on OK. Then the next filter is gonna be upscale 2, in which case the upscale or regenerate is gonna contain case insensitive 2. Fantastic. The 3rd one is gonna be upscale 3. Condition is gonna be upscale regenerate contains case insensitive 3. Fantastic. Next one, 4, is gonna be upscale 4, and the condition is gonna be upscale regenerate contains case insensitive 4. And then the last one, which is to regenerate all images, it has the word re-roll actually. So what I'm gonna do, the condition is gonna be upscale regenerate contains case insensitive because it contains basically regenerate. So we click on OK, and now we're good to go. Again, the webhook is still running, it's still waiting for data. So now if everything went fine, what we put at approved here, okay, and we said upscale regenerate, when we run that, when we run once, it should go through this specific module, this specific filter. It should continue to upscale the 3rd picture and then to update the record in the Airtable module, in which case this row is going to go to published. Okay, so let's run it once and let's see what happens. Here we go. Fantastic. So this row that we had over here went to published. So this worked very well. Now let's go back to number 4, and the webhook got fed some data because we triggered it basically. And the result, let's check the result, is going to be the URL. And when we open that, we should see the 3rd picture upscaled. Yeah, here we go. Fantastic. Look at that. Beautiful. Like, I'm actually amazed by, first of all, the complexity of this automation and of the different scenarios and of the results that you can create. So now let's continue with building out this automation. And actually, one more thing that I want to do, I want to test the regenerate function. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to for review over here. And let's say for LinkedIn, I'm going to have it regenerate. I'm going to change that to approved. Fantastic. And now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna run this one more time, and if everything went fine, then it should go here to regenerate all 4 images, and then we should have basically 4 new images. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna click on run once. Here we go. Beautiful. Let's go to Discord. All right, guys, so we are back. I was trying to regenerate the image, and then I went back to user API, and then I was getting an error. So I didn't know what was happening, and then I got in contact. If you go here at user API, then you can join the Telegram server, and then basically you can ask any kind of question. And they're very responsive, they're very fast in their responses. And it turns out that I got banned from Midjourney because I was using a bot. Okay, so I got in contact with the owner of userapi, and the owner is fantastic, very, very helpful to me. And then the owner said that the people that get banned, from 100 people, 2 of them get banned. So I'm one of the lucky ones, I guess. 2% of the people get banned, but it's fine. To be honest, I don't really care. I don't use Midjourney that much. And worst case scenario, if you get banned, you create another Discord account, another Midjourney account, and then you can have another subscription and you can continue with that. Okay, so with that being said, let's go back and continue the scenario. The owner of userapi was very helpful. They accommodated some API connections here for me. So now let's try again to regenerate the image. So we go back to Midjourney over here at Airtable, Midjourney to social, the first table. Let's open this image up, and it's it's a very nice image. Let's say we don't like any of them, so we go back to Upscale Regenerate over here. Then we click on Regenerate, and then we take the status from for review to approved. Now I'm gonna trigger the scenario again, and if everything went well, it's gonna go down here, and then it's gonna regenerate all 4 images. Here we go. Fantastic. So this was successful. Something that I see that I haven't done yet is that when I regenerate the picture, then this over here stays at approved and nothing happens to it. So we're gonna get a new row here, but this is gonna stay at approved, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to have different creatives at approved. Approved should be literally like just a time frame of 1 minute or something like that until the image goes out, and every time the image is like upscaled, regenerated, or whatever else, I want that image or I want that row to go out from approved, and I want it to be at published. Okay, so what I will do in this case is I will add another Airtable module over here. I will update the record. Base is gonna be again the same base. Table is gonna be Midjourney to Airtable. Record ID is gonna be the record ID from Airtable over here. And the only thing that I wanna change is the status, which is gonna be published. And we click on OK. Fantastic, we save it. And let's run it one more time. So now we see that, yeah, fantastic. This row left the approved view and went to published. Fantastic. And then now we're regenerating another row. So we should have one more row over here in just a minute. Something that happened over here, I see at history, the execution was complete, was successful, but the operations were only 1. The details, if I go to details, it says that the bundle did not pass through the filter. So let's go back to the diagram, and we can see that the only filters that I have here are regarding the aspect ratio in the prompt. Okay, so now, super important, the first time when we're running the scenarios, you get a prompt through the webhook, but when you regenerate, let's go to published and pull it back to approved over here. Over here, you do not have any prompt, so that will not pass. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add another flow over here at the router, and what I'm gonna do is specifically for reroll, if type contains case insensitive then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create an Airtable record. Again, create a record. Base is gonna be the same base that we're using. Table is going to be again the first one, and I'm gonna have image hash creative. I'm gonna have a URL, then platform. I'm not gonna have anything for platform. You will have to see what you just regenerated. And status is gonna be for review. So this is what we're gonna do now, and let's go back and trigger this automation again. So we go back to Midjourney, we go to published, we take published out of published, and we go to approved, and then run once, and let's see what happens. Fantastic. Okay, so now we have 2 operations. It went through the correct diagram or the correct part of the scenario over here. It was the last one. I just saw it in the end. We go to for review, and fantastic, cool. So we have for review, we have a new regenerated picture, and here it is. I'm very happy about it. Fantastic. So now we have everything ready with the first, second, and third scenario. Let's go to the fourth scenario now. Cool. So now fourth scenario is something that I'm extremely proud that I came up with it. And what we do in this case is we're sending an upscaled image to over here to the fourth scenario, to this webhook. And let's do it one time over here. So in this case, let's say that we have this image over here. It's for LinkedIn, and let's check it out. And let's say that we want the image number 1. So what we're gonna do is we're going to have the webhook from the fourth scenario running. So we're gonna have it running, and then we're going to go to Airtable, and then we're gonna upscale regenerate for LinkedIn number 1, and then we're gonna take it and make it approved. Fantastic. And then we're gonna run once, and what this should do is it should push it through the first filter over here. So let's see what happens. Cool. And we receive the data over here in the webhook, and the data that we received is the result of the picture, which is this one. Let's check it out. This is fantastic. It looks great. So now what we want to do is we want to create a record in Airtable with that new image, the upscaled image that we have. Let me show you a sneak peek. Actually, what we're gonna do is we received the new upscaled image over here, and now we have to either create an Airtable record for X, for Facebook or Instagram, or for LinkedIn. Okay, so now how are we going to determine if that image was for X, Facebook, or LinkedIn? We're gonna use another assistant, and it's called Midjourney Image Ratio Bot. It's actually super simple, super simple, and it says you will be provided with the width and height of an image. Your only job is to take the width and height and convert it to an image ratio. Example input 1, width blah, height blah, example output 2:1, and that would be for X. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back here, we're gonna add an assistant, message an assistant. The assistant is gonna be Midjourney Image Ratio Bot. And the reason that I'm doing that is because we only have these different data over here, and I don't have any other way to determine if the image is for X, Facebook, or Instagram, or whatever else. The only thing that I have here is width and height. So what we're gonna do is for message, we're gonna say width, and we're gonna click on width, and then height, and we're gonna click on height, and that's it for this step. So next step, we're gonna have a router, and we're gonna have 3 different choices. We're gonna have 3 different filters too. And for the first filter, we're gonna say X, and if the result, which is the image ratio, equal to case insensitive 2:1, then that's X. Facebook or Instagram, if the result equal to case insensitive 4:5, that's Facebook or Instagram. And then third one, it's gonna be LinkedIn, and over here, if the result equal to case insensitive 1:1, that's gonna be LinkedIn. Fantastic. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add another Airtable module over here, create a record. Base is gonna be Midjourney to social number 2. Table is gonna be Midjourney to Airtable. Cool. So image hash is gonna be the image hash over here. Creative is gonna be the creative that we just generated, which is gonna be the URL under this result over here. Platform is gonna be X because we're at X over here. Status is going to be for review, and we're gonna click on OK. We're gonna do the same with Facebook or Instagram and LinkedIn over here. So we're gonna create a record. Base is gonna be the same. Table is gonna be again the same. Image hash is gonna be, oops, not the account hash, the image hash. Fantastic. Creative is going to be URL over here. Then platform is going to be Facebook in this case, or it's going to be basically Facebook and Instagram, but we just create for Facebook and then we can duplicate it for Instagram later. Status is going to be for review, okay. And then we have LinkedIn. So what we're going to do, another Airtable module. So create a record. Base is going to be Midjourney to social. Table is going to be again the same. You know exactly what to do. Image hash, creative is going to be URL. Platform is going to be LinkedIn. status is going to be for review, and we're done with the 4th out of 5 scenarios. Okay, so we click on save. Fantastic. Cool. So now let's just try this one. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take from published to for review, because it's gonna be literally the same thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change everything to an upscaled image for X, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna upscale them. So let's say I like the first picture here. So I'm gonna upscale this one for number 1. Then LinkedIn, let's check it out. Cool. Let's say now I like the 3rd picture. So let's upscale the 3rd picture. And then for Facebook, let's say that we're gonna go for the 4th image here. So let's click on 4. So now we have the numbers of the upscaled images here. I'm going to turn everything to approved. And for it to work properly, I have to go to scenario number 4. I have to turn it on because they're gonna go through this webhook, and then basically new rows in Airtable are going to be created. Okay, so in this case, we're gonna run this once. Let's see if I turn everything approved. Fantastic. And let's see what happens. So now this should have gone off 3 times. Okay, so it went through the first filter, the second, and the third. Something is up with my Make account today. I don't know what, but literally I just clicked on run once. The first time it didn't work. The second time it went through. So let's see what happened. Cool. So now when we click on these links, we should have the upscaled images. And here we go. Beautiful. Number 2, beautiful. And number 3, beautiful. Fantastic. The only thing that you need to do now is we're basically going to create the automation which looks like this. And the only thing that we need to do is we need to post the pictures with the captions to our social media. Okay, so let's go back to this part over here. So what you need to do after you have approved the picture, after you have the upscaled image, is you need to copy this, the creative over here. You know that it's for X, and you need to go to Airtable to social, which is the second part. I mean, I have done so many tries over here, so yeah, let's take just the last 4 over here. So I'm just gonna delete everything else. And we have the captions here, we have the platform, the status, etc, etc. So now you have to drop the image or the URL that you just copied over here at creative URL. Beautiful, so we have it here. Again, you go back to the other table and you take the creative URL for LinkedIn. You go to the other table, you find LinkedIn and you paste it here. And the same for Facebook. But in this case, you paste it over here to Instagram and Facebook together. So we have everything in place. You have also the captions in place. And now let's go ahead and create the last part of our automation. So now the trigger will be Airtable Watch Records. The base will be again the same base, but the table will be the other one, which is the second table out of 2. Trigger field is gonna be last modified. Label field is gonna be status. Limit, you can leave it at 10, that's fine. View should be approved and we're good to go. Cool, so now we're going to have a router as the next step with 4 branches over here. The first branch is gonna be an Instagram for Business module. By the way, if you don't know how to set all of these things up, just check my first part of the professional content creation using Make, and then you will see exactly how to set those up. Cool, so over here we're gonna create a photo post. I'm gonna use my own page. Photo URL is going to be the creative URL here. Fantastic. And caption is going to be caption over here. Plus, what I would suggest is you put specific hashtags for you, right? For your own industry. In my case, I can say go high level, make automations, systems, etc, etc. Fantastic. We'll click on OK. And the only thing that I will add after that is an Airtable module where I'm gonna update the record. Base is gonna be the same base. Table is gonna be the second table. Record is gonna be the ID over here. Fantastic. And the only thing that I want to do, the only thing that I need to change is status. I'm gonna unmap this and I'm gonna click on published. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, next one is gonna be Facebook.
but I need to download the Midjourney file here. Yeah, here we go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have an HTTP request, where HTTP request, what it does basically, it's a fantastic module that does different functions around the internet, different functions that you cannot do normally with other modules. I'm gonna say creative URL over here. So, and then I'm gonna click on OK, fantastic. And we go to Facebook as the next one, Facebook pages, upload a photo, fantastic. And just leave the HTTP over here as it is. Pages is gonna be Fivos Radis. Album is going to be timeline photos for me. And message should be caption, and then a few hashtags for you. Okay, cool. Anyways, you will do it for yourself. Fantastic. Then we have another Airtable module. I'm just gonna clone this. I'm gonna put it here, and I'm gonna leave it as it is because it's totally fine. Yeah, it's fine. The next one is going to be a LinkedIn one, where I'm gonna have to download again the picture and then post it on LinkedIn. HTTP again, get a file, URL. The URL is gonna be creative URL. Fantastic. We'll click on OK. Then we're gonna have a LinkedIn module where you're gonna click on create a user image post. Just leave this as HTTP get a file. You go here to content and you click on caption, and then again you find your different hashtags. Then the same thing over here for Airtable. I'm just gonna clone this module over here. I'm gonna put it here. Fantastic. Next one again is gonna be a get a file HTTP module, creative URL. Okay. Now, super important here, you need to do something very specific, very unique to connect X or Twitter with make.com. It's kind of complicated. So now, again, if you don't know how to do it, go back to part number 1 at the end of the video and see how I did it there. And over here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on X. We're gonna toggle version 6 to version 5. We're gonna click on upload the media. Oh yeah, here we go. Fantastic. So the attachment is gonna be HTTP get a file, just leave it like that. And then we have another Twitter module, and it's gonna be version 6. And in this case, it's gonna be create a post. And what you need to do over here is you need to toggle this on. And for text content, you're gonna have the caption. And then for media IDs, you're gonna have to map media IDs from the previous module, and you're good to go. You click on OK, and we're gonna clone this module, Airtable module over here, and it should work perfectly. Now, one thing that I wanna warn you about is regarding X, the only thing that you need to check, where most cases it's off, is the how big the caption is. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna go to X, and I'm going to look at this. Here we go. So I'm just gonna delete this sentence over here. Fantastic. I'm gonna take this again, and I'm gonna go back to Midjourney. Sorry, I'm gonna go back to Airtable over here. Then I'm gonna paste it in, and now we have all the captions here, all the different platforms, the statuses, and the different creative URLs. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna toggle that to approved for everything, and as the last thing, I'm gonna run it once, and it should take all of these different rows that I have, because the limit is 10 and we have 4, so we should be fine. And now let's see what happens. We're gonna click on run once, and we're gonna watch it run. It says the aspect ratio is not supported. Let's see what happened. We have Instagram. Let's debug. Today is our debug day. Aspect ratio is not supported. Okay, I'm gonna take the LinkedIn post, which is 1:1. It should work. I'm gonna put it for Instagram. Let's run it once, and let's see what happens. What is it talking about, bro? Yeah, guys, it says the aspect ratio is not supported, and this aspect ratio is totally supported by Instagram. I don't know why it's lagging right now. It's literally perfect for Instagram. Anyways, so let me unlink this just to make sure that everything else is working. This looks like it worked. LinkedIn looks like it worked, and next looks like it worked. I don't know why Instagram didn't work. It's literally perfect for Instagram. If you do that, you will have a successful post for Instagram. Probably it's a bug with Make, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. So let's go to our Facebook over here. which from now on is our Facebook. It's not my Facebook, it's our Facebook. Here we go, look at that. Now the second mistake that I see people make regarding AI, specifically when trying to use AI in their processes, is attempting to delegate whole process to AI. By the way, blur this out completely. Blah, 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 blah. I don't like this here. Anyways, whatever. Fantastic. Then, cool. And as you can see, we have the same picture over here. Now, the second mistake that people make regarding AI, fantastic. It looks perfect. It looks perfect. It doesn't look cheap, right? It doesn't look like a cheap AI thingy. And let's go now to our profile at X, because it's our profile, it's not my profile. And again, over here, the second mistake people make with AI is blah, blah, blah. And we have a fantastic picture. Okay, so guys, this is the whole automation from start to finish. I would suggest that you set this run specific days of the week. Let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Let's say at 10, it should be okay, or whatever time you want. This will be running all the time. So this is just a webhook. It's always on. For the third one, I would suggest you run it specific days of the week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday again. I would suggest that you run it, let's say, 1 hour after the first part of the automation. The reason for that is because the first part of the automation is going to generate the different creatives based on your idea. So let's say that you have your automation over here running at 10 p.m. or whatever, right? Let's say 5 p.m. every single day or every 2 days. Then what you need to do is, before that time, you need to make sure that you drop an idea in the Slack thread, in the Slack group. And then this is going to create the creatives. This one is going to create the different rows in the Airtable over here at Midjourney to Airtable. Then we have the third part of the automation where, let's say, within this hour, you have enough time to check the different creatives and let's say, okay, I like creative number 1, creative number 2, etc., etc. And then you put the status from for review to approved. And then the fourth part of the automation is always on. It's a webhook. And then the fifth part of the automation, I would suggest you get it running, let's say an hour after the third part of the automation. So let's say the first part of the automation runs at 5, this would run at 6, and this would run at 6:30. Okay, guys, so this is the whole automation. If you want access to all the blueprints and the custom assistants that you saw in this video, then join my school community, link in the description below. And if you like content like that, subscribe to my channel. And hopefully you liked it, and I'll see you in the next video.